Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we're going to be tuning Forest's Might, the mono green deck. Our quest is to cast 20 red or green spells. We'll certainly achieve that playing mono green, so let's get first into the mastery tree. So I've been holding off using my orbs until I'm making these videos, so we're going to go in and fill in our green orbs as soon as we win a game with a green deck. As you see, we haven't done that job quite yet, so we're going to head over to our deck. Also, I've got a pack here to open, left over from the last video. We may as well fire that up. It may help us tune our green deck. You never know when you might hit some good green cards. Apparently not today, though. And there is Drakuseth, Maw of Flames. That's my third one. Free to play, 3 big red 7-drop dragons. Jeez, oh Pete's. All right. Okay, we'll move right along. Also, so that you guys know the score, as we fill out the mastery tree, and after we unlock all of the things along the free-to-play track on the mastery tree, we'll look into crafting competitive decks and taking them to the ladder. I have a TLC series that I'm making with my free-to-play account. The T stands for tuning, that's what this is. The L stands for ladder, and the C stands for crafting. So you're watching a free-to-play T video today, where we tune a specific deck. And today that deck is going to be the Forest Might. Now, as you see, I've unlocked some of these other decks, but I'm leaving them untouched until I make a video about them. So let's dive right in. As far as what I've opened up all the, there's promo codes. You can find those online, search Reddit or MTG Arena promo codes. I've opened all of those, and I've opened probably about 10 packs of M20, maybe a little more than that. And we've got some daily ICR, individual card reward wins. And that's where basically our magic collection is coming from. So right away, let's look at this deck. We've got Giant Growth, Barkeyed Troll. This is a good one for a mono green deck to get set up with. A 2-mana 2/2 that comes into play with a counter, so it's a 3/3, and can remove that counter for hexproof. We've got the Greenwood Sentinel, which is just okay. We may have to use it. Growth Cycle is +3/+3 until end of turn with an additional +2/+2 for each card named Growth Cycle. It's okay. It can get really exciting. Rabid Bite is the removal spell that green is going to end up using a lot until we replace it with something way down the line, but most cards are very similar to Rabid Bite, and it will probably do great. Season of Growth. This is actually a powerful engine card to give green a way to gain card advantage, something it hasn't had in the past. This says whenever a creature you enters the battlefield, you get to scry, which is nice because it helps you find more creatures. And whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. The previous version of mono green in the last mastery set was very much a ramp deck. This looks like it's very much a pump aggression deck, which honestly sounds way more fun to me. Siliana Wayfinder lets you look at your top 4 cards, reveal a creature or land, and put it on top of the library, put the rest on the bottom in a random order. This card sounds really good because it makes sure that you keep drawing creatures and can help you find a creature or land when you know you need the top of your deck to be a certain thing. But really, it's 2 mana for a 2/1 and isn't as good as it probably looks. Generous Stray is 3 mana for a 1/2, which isn't good, but it draws a card when it enters the battlefield, and it's a cat that brought you a lizard. Oaken Form, we can pump up our creatures +3/+3 with an enchantment. Silverback Shaman, it's pretty good. When it dies, it draws a card, so at least there's some value there. Aggressive Mammoth is one of our rares, an 8/8 trample. The Gargos, 8 Vicious Watchers, an 8/7 for 6 Vigilance that reduces the cost of other Hydras, but we don't have any. And then there's Meteor Golem, which is in all the starter decks to destroy a permanent. So first of all, I'm looking down the list, and I'm going to try to identify the cards that are probably the worst, the ones that you'll want to cut or replace as quickly as possible. And when I look at this list, what I see is probably the Meteor Golem isn't going to fit. I don't believe I'll want that. This I don't think I'll want until there's another Hydra. It kind of sucks to take the rare out though, so I'm going to keep it for now. Generous Stray I don't believe is what you're after. Oakenform sets you up to get 2 for 1, so I don't like that card very much. The Wayfinder sets up other creatures but is a weak body on its own, so I don't like that very much. And Greenwood Sentinel is 2 mana for a 2/2 Vigilance, which we might end up playing but is very weak on its own. The strength of the deck, we want these pump spells and these Rabid Bites to go with Season of Growth as our card advantage engine, and you can see that what we're missing now are good bodies. So I'm going to be looking through my collection for the best bodies, the best creatures that I can to run in these spots. Right away we have some 1/1 Death Touch. I'm not enthusiastic about that, and the opponents aren't likely to block them anyway, which makes them very bad things for our pump spells to hit. Gift of Strength is another pump spell. I definitely don't think that we need that. Druid of the Cowl makes mana. It is a body. It can help us cast some of our more expensive cards. So I'm going to put Druid of the Cowl in for now, although 1/3 isn't the best aggressive body. The mana generating might be worth it. I've opened, or I unlocked an Incubation Druid somewhere along the lines. That's another mana creature that I think I can try, but it's not a strong body on its own. Call Harpooner is a very good body. 2 mana for a 3/2 with reach and another ability that lets it fight a flyer if we need to. There may be plenty of those little new pirate dudes who draw cards whose name I'm blanking on that we need to kill. You know the ones. You know the ones. Sorrowform Hybrid. Adapt 4 is probably way too much, but it is a human lizard warrior, which is pretty cool, but probably not going to make the cut. Woodland Champion gets +1/+1 whenever a token enters the battlefield under your control. If we had a bunch of ways to make tokens, it would be good, but I don't see it yet. District Guide gets us more lands, sort of a value play. I don't believe I'll need it, though, in this particular deck. The Generous Stray may come back just because of the card draw, but the body's so weak I don't want it. Blightwood Tracker, look at the top 4. You may reveal a creature and put them into your hand and the rest on the bottom. That's really expensive for that ability. Centaur Nurturer is 3 life and a mana of any color. We're not splashing another color, but it makes me wonder if I could run a card like this just to have a 4 toughness thing to help bridge me into my larger creatures. We'll think about it. One card I did open in my packs was Cavalier of Thorns, which is definitely a big power body that I want in the deck. And another is Nissa Who Shakes the World, who is one of the strongest green cards that we could possibly have. So Nissa's going straight into the deck as well. As I look down the rest of the way, I don't think I'll see a lot of cards for me here. Being monocolor, can't really add all this stuff. So what are we missing? We're still missing 7 cards, and what we need most are early bodies. We have a number of ramp cards to help us cast some of the more expensive ones in the deck, which is nice. But we need the best bodies we can in probably the 2 and 3 drop slot. You see in our mana curve we got some holes. We only have 14 creatures, so we need more. And you can see that we have no 3 drops, and we have a bunch of 2 drops, but most of them are these instants. Giant Growth and, well, Growth Cycle, Rabid Bite, Season Growth all being in there. We could use some critters. So, what are the 7 best critters we can be running? You are 3 mana for a 4/2 that can gain flying until end of turn. It's a pretty funny little frog snake. Now this would be good if I had other elementals, which I don't have, I don't believe. I have some that are very expensive. And this says, whenever another creature you control dies, gain a life. If it was an elemental, put a counter on it. I don't think that's good enough. District Guide getting me some land value, and Generous Stray drawing me cards might be what I actually need here. I'm much more about value than aggression. You'll learn this about me. I tend to try to win the longer games. My foes tend to try to win the shorter games. Maybe we do want the Wayfinder, but I just hate that it's a 2/1. I think I'd rather have the Greenwood Sentinel with Vigilance. I think that's a little bit better. Okay, there's a lot of ways to draw cards. There's also ways to fetch lands with District Guide, which tells me I can cut a land from the deck. You can run 25, and we probably should with these 6 drops, but once you add 2 District Guide, they get you a bonus land anyway, so I feel like removing a land is okay. Actually, what I really want to do is get the 4th Rabid Bite. Rabid Bite is a removal, and we are gearing up to remove things. We actually have some extra removal here in Titanic Brawl if we wanted even more Rabid Bite style effects. I don't think that's the plan right now. We have 21 creatures. That's not bad. Could be worse. And we have the pump spells and the Seasons of Growth, so we can't be like a 30 creature deck if we're actually planning to use Season of Growth well. We need to have ways to target our own creatures. All right. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like the deck is all right, and I think we can go Tango and hopefully pull a few games away from some of the more competitive decks in the format. Let's sleeve up and let's go to battle. Okay, we've got a Season of Growth and we've got some critters and a pump spell, so I think this is all the way a keep. Our opponent took one mulligan. They have the sweetest sleeves and a cat, so this is going to be a tough game. I'm ready for my face to get smashed, but all I have to do is play a game to unlock the mastery tree that I need to. Forest versus Island, blue-black. The Lost. We'll enter the battlefield and draw a card. If Fibblethib is targeted by a spell, gets shuffled back in the deck. It's a legendary 1/1 homunculus. Not a big deal by any stretch of the imagination. Let's get Season of Growth down. Our little value engine that could. Usually blue-black doesn't have a way to deal with enchantments, so if these are our opponent's only colors, we might be okay. However, it looks like they might be playing the deck that steals land. Our opponent discards the Fibblethib. They could have attacked first and just drawn 2 at the Chart Course, but that could be a sign that they're the Reanimator deck and they don't have a creature to reanimate yet. Otherwise, they would have discarded it. So, here is District Guide. I'm going to show you a trick here. You want to stack the trigger with the District Guide that fetches first and the Scry after. You don't want to Scry and then shuffle, because if you put something you want on top, you would shuffle it away. Yay, all of our lands in here are forests, so not a hard decision. And another Rabid Bite could be very good. It also could be rather weak. I like drawing cards and killing things quite a bit. I just don't know if we'll get a good opportunity to do it. Let's keep it. Let's keep it. It's what our deck does. Let's not run from what our deck can do. Using cards like Growth Cycle to make the District Guide into a 5/5 and then Rabid Bite to kill a creature with 5 toughness or less and draw 2 cards. That's what we're here for. That's the play. All right, 4th land. Our opponent could be lining up a Blood for Bones, but let's just wait and see what they do. Fibblethib is attacking. I will block. Fibblethib is in the graveyard. Fibblethib is back. Our opponent with all the rare homunculi you can handle. A Thought Erasure. Well, the sad thing is we only have 1 creature, the Crawl Harpooner, and I imagine that's what the opponent will take. That's sad, but the good news is they can't really disrupt the nasty things we're about to do, so that's good. Alright, because we're low on creatures, and if our opponent kills this District Guide, we won't be able to do any of our tricks anymore. Let's go ahead and use some of our spells this turn. Let's use Growth Cycle, inflate our District Guide, let's use the Rabid Bite, take out the Fibblethib the Lost. It will get shuffled back into the deck, but we still get to draw a card. And our opponent's left without a creature, and now we have another creature in hand, which was really what we wanted. So that if our District Guide dies, we're not left without something to cast our pump spells on. Concoct will look at the top 3, then a creature will come out of the graveyard. If our opponent hits a big creature with this Concoct, it's going to be sad. They hit a Cavalier of Gales. Okay, here comes a 5/5. The opponent draws 3. They put 2 back on top of their deck. That's a lot of value. It's a mythic rare. Certainly facing a mismatch for our starter deck, but that's okay. We're probably getting one of our better draws with the power of Season of Growth, so we're going to fight through it and do our best. This Giant Growth will draw us a card. This Rabid Bite. Well, actually we get a Scry when this enters the battlefield. So let's Scry first. Yes, we'll take more creatures. We need creatures to finish the job. So here's the creature I don't control. Here's the creature my opponent controls. Draw another card. It is very likely here that our opponent is going to find another way to reanimate the Cavalier. And it's being shuffled into the library, though. Which, that's kind of interesting that you have that in your Reanimator deck. Hit for 5. The reason being is when it shuffles into the library, you can't reanimate it. But let's see what our opponent comes up with. The Troll can't go hexproof right now, which is frustrating, but if the opponent kills it, it makes room for the Silverback Shaman. We're concocting again, and once again, we don't have a creature down here, so the opponent had to shuffle the Cavalier of Gales. They might think they know it's on top of their deck from the draw, put 2 back, but they don't. And here they are. They're going to grab a Tomebound Lich, which does have Death Touch, so anything it blocks is going to die. It also has lifelink, so that's annoying too. It's going to be a frustrating card to deal with. Drawing another Rabid Bite would be nice. Here's a Stitcher Supplier to mill 3. We still haven't seen the large creature our opponent might be running. If I were them, I would be running a very specific creature called Agent of Treachery, and I made a video of that if you ever want to watch it. Alright. I think we throw the Troll at the opponent. If we throw the Guide, it can be blocked by the 1/3 with Death Touch, which will kill the Desperate Guide. But if the Troll wants to trade with the Tomebound Lich, I'm very happy, just to get the Tomebound Lich away from the battlefield so I can attack with other things. Stitcher Supplier is the block. There goes the Agent of Treachery. Can steal all kinds of things. So whatever I'm putting out there is likely to get stolen. So I still need to play it. I need to keep pressure on my opponent. Putting out the Cavalier of Thorns is a very big blocker. Putting out the Silverback Shaman is a very big blocker. All things are bad. Let's go with this one, I suppose. We have to hope our opponent's out of reanimation jutsu. Generous Stray is too weak right now, I think. So I'm going to scry it to the bottom and hope to do better. Opponent checking out the cards, checking out the Shaman, checking out the Guide, trying to figure this game plan out. Blood for Bones, here we go. The Agent of Treachery is coming back. It's going to steal the Silverback Shaman. We have a Cavalier, which will be a 5/6. And what else do you get? Tomebound Lich returns to hand, which, that's fine. The opponent's going to steal the Season of Growth. That's hateful. And a Tyrant Scorn will kill the District Guide. Okay, we still have a good attack here. I wonder if they have a quasi-duplicate to copy the Agent of Treachery multiple times. Anyway, we're just going to try to attack our way to a victory. The opponent's going to block the Troll, which means they may have a way to reanimate this again. And that is scary indeed. Let's play another Shaman, though. All we can try to do is beat right through it. Saving the Cavalier of Thorns, these have Trample, which could be a big deal. Here's a Tomebound Lich. So the opponent needs another land and another Blood for Bones to get back the Agent again. They keep on top, so it must be decent. If they get the Agent back again, they can steal this Shaman, then they have 2 blockers to our 2 attackers. Those can bounce, Agent can chump. No, it's a Stitcher Supplier. And it's a Scoop! We got there! I can't believe the opponent stole the Season of Growth. I can't believe they stole the Season of Growth. Alright, let's get into the mastery. Let's go ahead and hit the tree, and let's fill up green. I played a game with a green deck. What's going on here? I did play a game with a green deck. I totally played a game with a green deck. Derp-a-derp-a-derp. What's going on here? I guess I try again. If this happens to you, I don't know what to say. Hopefully the tree's not, like, closed off because I didn't do it all fast enough. Because I unlocked the other decks. That would be sad. Maybe somebody can throw in comments what I'm doing wrong here. Red. The nemesis. Alright. Well, face my 3/3. Yeah, come and get it. Beefy boy. Now what? Yes, your plan was to attack and attack and attack more. Haha. Alright, let's go ahead and throw a little damage our opponent's way. Strong is the troll. Now I'll also play the 2/2 District Guide over the Stray because the 2/2 body is a bit stronger than the 1/2 body. And we'll have a land for next turn. Our opponent could have a shock, which would be a reason not to attack, but we're attacking for more than the opponent is. And our creatures are bigger, so I don't mind attacking with the troll, even if the opponent kills my guide and attacks me back. Teamer. Elementals, probably. Indeed. Alright, you want to trade with my District Guide? I'm okay with that. My District Guide already got value. I was able to find a forest with it. However, if this dies, this becomes a 4/3, but I get to kill it with the Rabid Bite, so... do I care? Actually, I think I'm just better taking the damage than giving away my District Guide to the Spitter when I'm going to have larger creatures anyway. The opponent is flexing their cat at me, but I think that's perfectly fine if you want to think about that. So, slam into him, then play a kitty, or slam into him and Growth Spiral and Rabid Bite something. It's a tough choice. But yeah, let's get busy. The opponent wants to take it. Alright, let's go with... I'm going to go with the Growth Spiral Rabid Bite train of events. I think it's pretty darn solid. Down to 10. Rabid Bite. Here's the thing I control, here's the thing you control, it dies. Now we have Silverback Shaman for next turn, and we'll see what our opponent can do with their teamer colors. They're still attacking. That is a sign that they feel strong about something. Let's go see what it is. Or maybe they just don't block. Maybe that's just not a thing that they do. Hearthstone players. Just kidding. Sorta. Silverback Shaman coming on in. Our opponent did nothing with their mana last turn. They better have something powerful here. They're at 7 and we're at 14, so their attacks haven't put them in a good spot in the race. Vinemare is a 5/3 hexproof elemental horse. So that can trade off with some of my creatures. I think we want to keep attacking, but first I'm going to draw a card with the Stray because we may draw a pump spell, which would make our attack a lot better. Not exactly. Alright, so if the Vinemare blocks the District Guide, my opponent's pretty dead or close to dead, and I would gladly give that up. If the Vinemare blocks either of these, I'm pretty happy, so we can still attack with the District Guide. Even though the opponent has a good block of it with Vinemare, their life total would be under too much pressure to make that block. You'll notice I'm holding the land and the District Guide that I plan to play till after combat. Knowing what I'm going to do with my mana will affect the way that my opponent may choose to block or not block. That's because they already know I play pump spells in my deck. Alright, so we've got block here, block there. That works. Having open mana while you attack is, generally speaking, a good way to be. It makes the opponent fear what you might be able to do and block differently than they normally would. some opponents. Some opponents are just going to do what they do regardless. Scampering Scorcher will make 3 1-1s. With our opponent firmly on the back foot, those can be blockers for a turn, but they probably won't get the opponent back in the game on their own. So we're going to keep throwing the green book at them. Keep sending these creatures. Interesting. So they throw the blockers in front of all. And down go the elementals. Here comes the shaman. Another beefy boy. And this Barkhide Troll has been applying pressure for nearly basically the entire game since turn 2, and has certainly been the MVP of this game. The opponent will kill a District Guide with their Chandra, and that's all they can do, is take out one creature and die. Okay, I've now won 2 games with my green deck. You can see this quest is checking off. I should be able to mastery. Show me the tree. What is going on? It's not working. Play a game with a green deck to unlock. I'm gonna try restarting. Okay, I restarted the client. I turned it off and I turned it back on. I did tech support from the 80s. It totally worked. I just rebooted and this is what I saw. So if you run into this problem, now you know. Give me some rhinos. Whenever you cast a spell that targets the rhino, draw a card. That's a pretty sweet card for this style of deck, and definitely one of the bodies, one of the upgraded bodies I'd love to get into the deck. So we'll manage. We can hit upgrade deck. It's going to take some cards out. I might put them back in. We'll see. Also, since I already ground out these orbs, we're going to go through and just fill this out and get some of these other sweet, sweet cards. So here is the 4th Rabid Bite, which we already had, another Gargos, and now we have another Hydra to go with Gargos, which is a big deal. Gargos with Hydras is way better than Gargos without Hydras. So let's grab another. And what do we got here? Another Wake-Root Elemental and an extra aggressive Mammoth, so many more large creatures. Also the Prize Unicorn, all creatures able to block it do so. We may get to show what that does. And finally, because we like to flex how cool we are, we're going to finish this top orb, which will give us access to these other decks, and that's just going to give us a cosmetic, which is not exciting to me. I don't get as into the cosmetics because it's not a card, you just get a shinier version of the card. I don't even like using the orb. But the big wins are these decks that we can get to in the very near future. Alright, let's go continue tuning Forest Smite. Now that we've unlocked this part of the tree, let's look for some better cards to put into it. Our opponent, the computer took out the Giant Growths. When we hit that upgrade deck button, they picked some things to take out. I would not take out Giant Growth. I think Giant Growth is amazing. Let's get Giant Growth back in the deck. What else did we take out? They took out the Growth Cycles. These are a lot of what makes the deck good with Season of Growth, so they're going back in. So I already disagree strongly with the computer's choices. They took out the District Guide. That might be good, except for the fact that we just added all of these expensive, powerful cards. So I'm going to want those lands. The Rhinos are in there, that's good. The Cavalier of Thorns is still in there, that's good. This is in there. Silverback Shamans are fine. Aggressive Mammoths are strong. Hydras are strong. Voracious Hydra is very strong. And Wake-Root Elemental is pretty good. So what are we left with? 8 cards to cut. So the weakest cards that we added near the end last time, the Greenwood Sentinels can go. What else? Generous Stray, I think, isn't going to pull it off anymore. You've been a nice kitty, you've done your work, but it's time to play some more strong cards. With 3 cards to go, the Centaur Nurturer can go now that Gnarlback Rhino can play the position. And we do have a hole in our 3-drop, which is what the cat was sort of doing, but I still don't think it belongs anymore, poor kitty. We have so many 6-drops now. 6 6-drops. We have a lot of ways to get mana, so playing big creatures is probably a fine strategy. The Silverback Shaman is okay. Now that I have these 6-drops, though, I don't know if I need you anymore. It's brutal, but it's true. It's the law of the jungle. I still want these. How many creatures do we have? It's important to try to keep your creature count above 20 if you're going to run a bunch of pump spells like I am. And we're at 23, so we can cut 2 creatures. Yeah, I think that the Rhino goes better in this type of deck. The Prize Unicorn is sort of a cheats to kill the opponent creatures by attacking with this with a pump spell, but does require a pump spell to be good. So while the art is lovely, I think that it is in a similar way that we don't run certain other cards in the deck, we are not going to run the Unicorn. I also don't run Bounty of Might. I don't find this card very good. It's 6 mana for an effect that is best when there's a whole bunch of different creatures. I mean, maybe we're supposed to at this stage in our development here on the free-to-play account, because with a trample creature it can steal the game. But I'm not going to. It's a bit too ambitious of a pump spell for me. Let's trim 1 Silverback Shaman, and I think we're ready to rock and roll now. I think we can try this hand out. What I'm really missing are Season of Growth hands. That's what gave us a chance when we played the deck before. Since tuning it, I'm having trouble winning, but I've also only played against, like, lots of, like, people who paid for these cats. Let's just put it that way. Pay-to-wins. That's all I've played against since upgrading the deck, and I haven't drawn Season of Growth, which in my opinion is the card that makes it competitive. So let's pull out a Kroll Harpooner, see if the opponent has the means to kill it. They do. You can tell by the stick there, that pause that the opponent's clicking, that they can kill this. It's just about when they want to kill this. So Cabal Stronghold, 3 mana, add a black for each basic swamp you control, can make a bunch of mana. Toll the Invasion is 3 mana. The opponent reveals their hand, you choose a non-land card from it, player discards a card so they can take whatever they want, and then they get to make a token. They chose the District Guide, which is just keeps me from playing on curve. It's kind of an interesting choice. Tells me that they probably run a lot of removal. Don't want to use my Rabid Bite on a 1/1. Okay. Yeah, they're just going to try to take all my creatures with discard effects is the plan. I guess I'm using a Rabid Bite on this 2/2. Otherwise, I won't be able to keep attacking. The opponent's either playing on full control mode or they have something for 1 mana they're not using. Is it a fungal infection? Yes. Okay, so they can turn this into a 2/1, then block it. Now, Davriel the Shadow Mage is going to attack my hand. We saw this in one of our other free-to-play videos. Now, if we get to play our Mammoth, maybe something good will happen, but Murder is a really good card. So I'm going to discard this Forest and hope to top deck the land. 2 damage from Davriel for having a low hand. There's Season of Growth, which if I've got to draw something to get on the board against a mono-black kill all your things deck, I guess that will do. Let's see if the Davriel wants to go after the Mammoth, and it does.
A mind is a terrific thing to waste.
Alright, land to the battlefield. Opponent, they have a lot of black mana available. I just don't know what they can actually plan to do with it. Now, any creature we draw scries. Any pump spell we draw can draw a card if we can find a target for it. Now we get double that effect. So maybe Season of Growth can pull us back into this. We just have to draw a creature. We can draw a creature. That's a creature. That is a big, beefy creature. So we're looking for more creatures. I don't really want pump spells because, yeah, the opponent's surely loaded up on all the removal they could possibly put in their deck. That is what I am seeing here. So I'll take any creature I can find. So every time we play a creature, we scry 2 more and find another creature. We keep playing creatures until they are out of ways to deal. We'll go get the land. Shuffle a Gorgos away. Alright, put you on the bottom. I know I can draw 2 cards with the pump spell, but I need the creature to live. And I don't trust the creature to live. I think the creature is doomed. I think every creature I play is doomed until the opponent's down to like 1 or 0 cards in their hand. This is obviously a kill all your stuff black deck. And there's Ritual of Soot, so yep. Silverback Shaman, scry me some more. And yep, that's a creature, so we keep it. That simple. That simple, folks. Scry for keep creatures, keep the creatures. Ooh, they did not kill this one. Well, let's get these scries first. Because if the opponent kills this during the attack step, I get to draw a card. I'll keep the Giant Growth this time because I have 2 creatures. And if I get to resolve it on either one, I get to draw 2 cards. And if the Silverback Shaman dies, I draw a card. And if I cast the Giant Growth on the Rhino, I draw 3 cards. So that's the plan. Alright, that hit. The opponent didn't kill that creature. What is going on? Dreadhorde Invasion. That makes a 1/1 zombie army at the cost of 1 life every turn. Here we go. The target is you. Fungal Infection. Makes a 1/1. What are you gonna do with it? Another Fungal Infection. Okay. Now, if both of those creatures block the Rhino, this Giant Growth could be an epic tilt. They're trying to kill the Rhino with 2 Saprolings, but I'm going to make the Rhino huge! And draw it so many cards! Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Opponent can't bear to see that. Oh, so many cards. We have a Troll, a Rhino, and a Shaman. So any pump spells we draw are live. This hand is okay. Love a Season of Growth, though. Would love it. Seeing a lot of coordination between draw and Season of Growth and victory. And our opponent opens with 2 gates, which maybe they're a Naya deck, or maybe they're one of these gates decks. Opponent's gonna read my 3/3. Can you kill it? That's what I'm wondering. Behold the power. Plaza of Harmony. It is a gate deck that gains 3 life when it enters the battlefield. That's an annoying card. Season of Growth. Alright, first I'm going to attack with the Troll. See if the opponent does anything. Nope. Alright, let's hope this card stays. Stay with me. Stay with me, Season of Growth. Another Boros Gilgate. So they only have access to 3. They don't have access to blue right now, which is usually a key color. And they're going to play Gates Ablaze to deal 3 damage to the Troll. That's fine. It's only 1 creature that I lose instead of a bunch. Let's bring out the Rhino. Do I need another land? I think I'll find another land. This might be a greedy bottom with a Mammoth in my hand, but I'm going to do it because I believe I will find one. So I'll get another scry from the Shaman. If the Shaman dies, I'll get another card after that. And the opponent pays 1 and that's it. So let's send in the Rhino. Bam. Let's play the Shaman. The opponent could definitely have another Gates Ablaze, but I'm just going to make him have it. And we'll keep the land on top to play an 8/8. These Rabid Bites need a target, though. Kaya's Wrath blows up the creatures, but I draw a card from the Shaman, so it's not a total loss. There's a Growth Cycle. Here's a Mammoth. Let's see if the opponent saved something for the 8/8. Let's put the lands on the bottom so we draw some better cards. Come on. Please don't kill this. So the Gateway Plaza produces a mana of any color, and the Plaza of Harmony produces any land that could be produced. So the Gateway Plaza can do black, and then the Harmony can also do black because of the Plaza, is what we're saying. So this is a creature, not a Planeswalker, which is frustrating. The opponent's going to get back the Kaya's Wrath, most certainly. Yes. Yes, they are. So Tamiyo threatens to take over the game. Maybe with the perfect draw here. Nope. So this creature is about to die. I may as well growth cycle it and hit the opponent as hard as I can. I could also kill the Tameo. Oh, look at that draw. Look at that draw off the top. Now it gets +5/+5, that's 16. That is the first time we've double growth cycled all day, and it is a memorable one. Oh my goodness. Now that's a mammoth. That there is a mammoth. Let's have a look back at the deck Forest Might before we leave for the day and see if there's any other tuning that we need to do. As I check it out, I really like where we're at. The 3 Barkide Trolls, 1 Druid, 1 Incubation Druid, and 2 Kroll Harpooners is a little bit low for 2 drops, but Season of Growth can fit that spot as well. Where I need more things is in the 3-drop camp, I think. I would love some 3-mana creatures that really put pressure on the opponent. Thrashing Brontodon would be a good card in this position. Steelleaf Champion is a good card from Dominaria, but it's rotating, so I don't know if I'll craft that one. And I definitely want something stronger than the cat. This little 1/2 is not the body that I need to put pressure on the opponent. So, looking down the line, Cavalier of Thorns is okay in this deck. It's definitely stronger in an elemental deck or something with a graveyard and rampy theme. I don't think we ever cast Nissa, who shakes the world today, and yet we were able to compete okay. Silverpack Shaman impressed me and is a card you'd want to keep in the deck early on for as long as possible. Gargos never came down, nor did Wakeroot Elemental. I imagine those are strong. Maybe we'll get to find out in the future. But overall, I like the tuning on the deck. I would never cut the Rabid Bite Season of Growth, Giant Growth, and Growth Cycle engine. I think it is one of the strongest things the deck can do. So with that, that brings us to a close to this video on how to tune Forest Smite. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe to the Covert Go Free channel. If you like live content or from my Twitch streams, there's a Covert Go Live channel. And if you want a different, fully unlocked account from my paid account, that is on the Covert Go Blue channel. Also, if you really like this video, please leave me a comment, please subscribe, please share it with your friends who are getting into the game. The more views on this particular channel, the more likely I'll keep up the free-to-play content, so it would mean a lot to me. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video, where we will be going over the mono white deck and how to tune that for free-to-play. Goodbye.